Oscar Knight, if you will, where's Oscar? If you will come over, and Oscar will lead us in the, may we have your attention please? Oscar will lead us in the patriotic song and the Pledge of Allegiance, and Herb Hoffman will give us the invocation tonight. So will you please stand?
America the Beautiful.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of rain, for purple mountains, majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
And if you would join me in honoring our flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this evening hour, for our loved ones, for Kiwanis. Bless us and energize us to serve our communities. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
You forgot the Padres, right?
That's Potter's deed.
Thank you very much. Very clear.
They already lost.
Now that you're all seated, I would like you to stand again and honor our Lieutenant Governor Bob Sept and his First Lady Barbara. I'm not sure whether protocol requires us to stand again, but I'm told that I have to introduce past Lieutenant Governor Tom Vildeville as a super distinguished Lieutenant Governor. I'm not sure what that means, other than the fact that other Lieutenant Governors must be less distinguished. Okay, what do we got next? I was told I was given a program tonight, and the program doesn't tell me anything, so...
It's your menu.
The menu? Yes, it tells us the menu, yes. Hopefully you've all ordered your dinners. Okay, I think Bob Sept has an important engagement to get away to. I understand he's buying a new vehicle, and you're going to dash off and not eat dinner and complete your paperwork. So he is going to come and retire our present directors and officers. Again, it gives me pleasure to introduce Bob Sept, our Lieutenant Governor. Thank you.
There you go. I gotta have this. This is my wet napkin for our club. Okay. Nothing. You gotta give anything to these people at all?
Nothing.
What did I come here for? There. I need the wide angle ones here.
Let's rearrange the rest of the damn furniture for you.
Hey Ben.
Are you happy now?
Hey Ben. Go sit down, Ben. Okay. Like we say, we kind of got to. I'm not going to rush this, but I'm going to hurry it up a little bit. So, what I'd like to do is have the directors, and I'll call you out by name. Please stand right by your table, wherever you are, or well, not who's not busy. So, Steve Blake, please. Dan Cohen. Rick Ferris. Rick here. Rick's not here. Gary Kessler. Okay. Oscar Knight is here, I know that. Oscar, please stand. Dave McNabb. And of course Walt's here. Walt Schaefer. look around here at these gentlemen and consider the fact that these people are the true backbone of this club. Now, what that means is there's no flesh on it, it's just backbone. They've worn it all off. But I'll tell you what, this club, no club can really get along without a fantastic set of directors. So under the circumstances, it's going to be a great honor and privilege to retire you from the board. So with that, please sit down. Well, let's see, past President Jim, would you stand? President-elect Andy, would you stand? Where is Andy? Oh, there you are. You're right there, okay. Vice President Nate Vandervoort?
Nate can't make it.
You mean we were able to get along this far without the whole crew? Huh? I'll tell you what. I think that Nate probably didn't realize what he was supposed to be doing as vice president, and nonetheless things got done. And I'm sure that I guess in most clubs your vice president will usually take care of the programs, but I think you have a little bit different program arrangement here. But anyway, I will certainly like to retire Nate from the vice presidency. Andy, I don't know what you've been doing the last year.
Being miserable.
President, what is your president-elect supposed to do?
I was in training to be secretary.
In training to be secretary? Gotcha, okay. I can handle that. You were supposed to be in training to follow Ben. That didn't work out. I can see it hasn't worked out. So it is a great privilege that I have to retire you as president. Would you please sit down? Jim, would you? President Ken,
Yes.
would you please stand?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
And Secretary Victoria, would you please stand? No.
Over there.
As far away as you can get, I'm sure.
Why is he seated?
Look closely at these two. And heed them well. Poor Ben is always on stage. But anyway, without the secretary, a good secretary with a sharp pencil, and a president with a sense of humor, and whatever else he's got, sharp tongue, it's impossible for a club to do what your club has done. And I'm proud and honored to have had your club in the division that I've been lieutenant governor. It is a great privilege that I have to honor you by retiring both of you. But don't sit down.
I'm a little tired.
I have a...
Ben, he's had a privilege to retire.
I have to get this out of the way now. I'm going to have to run, but I'll be right back before the food gets cold, I'm sure. But it is an honor that I have, Barbara and I have to give a token of our appreciation to your president and your secretary. With that, I'd like to hand these over. And if you'll notice, one has kind of like circus balloons on it. Does that mean anything to the clown?
That'd be for the clown.
And this other one has
Let's auction it off.
the stars.
Oh, that's mine.
She has what it takes. Victoria.
Thank you very much.
And Tom gets the empty sack so he can take home. I want to thank you very much for bearing with me for this short part of the program, but it really is an honor and a privilege to do this as Lieutenant Governor, and in a couple of weeks I will be past Lieutenant Governor. Thank you very much. Thank you. Last week,
Jim Bloxham and Victoria and I met just to kind of go over what was going to happen tonight, and as much as I was not able to attend last year, because I had just opened a new venture and could not make it for that evening. Are you leaving us, Bob? Or is that clear?
You caught me.
Carefully leaving.
I'll be
right back.
Thanks for the warning.
Adventure is it, Gordon?
Jim gave me a videotape of last year's installation, thought it might be helpful in preparing for this evening. And I have to tell you, the first opportunity that I had to put that in the recorder was this afternoon, late this afternoon. So I did put it in, and I got to the part where Jim Bloxham was giving his speech and awards, and I have to confess that I fell asleep. The next time I woke up, why, Bruce Chase was walking around with a bucket of pumpkin in his hand collecting fines. And I don't really know what happened between Jim Bloxham's retirement speech and Bruce's collecting fines. It may or may not have been of any significance, but I have to confess that I slept through it. That's a true story. It gives me, with some trepidation, before dinner, I am going to ask our president, Ben Holden, to come up and hope that, you know, Jim had a real problem keeping his charisma in check, and Ben has a real problem in expressing himself. So, between the two of them, I think we've got a great combination, and I give you now, for the last time, Ben Holden.
It's a real pleasure. Pardon me?
You need the microphone. Use the microphone.
No, I hate that. I feel very sorry about these people. I don't know what happened to them. Does anybody know what happened to these folks?
They're in the bar. They're coming for dessert.
It's just like our meetings, you know, the front table, nobody wants to sit there. I don't understand it. And can anybody explain that to me? Perhaps. Oh, here she comes. Okay, bring the bread in, dear. It's okay. Oh, yeah, we love you. Yeah. Any woman with crust is on my list. One of the things I wanted to do tonight was to, first of all, tell you that it's been a marvelous, marvelous opportunity for me this year being your president. I have really enjoyed it. And what I like best, pardon me, what did you say?
I said they did.
No worries, Clinton hater.
I see.
Another Republican.
Yeah, well, he'd be okay if he could just destroy the dress. All right, now, what we'd like to do is, what I'd like to do is, besides saying thank you and all the wonderful things that I can say to every one of you, because it's been a real pleasure for me, and the best part has been the fact that I can just tell other people to do things, you know, and I really enjoyed that, although I can tell you that telling Andy to do anything is just not worth the effort. You know? So anyway, finally Andy gets to control his own ship and the destiny of the club, and I am really happy for him. I wanted to give some...
Man overboard.
Yeah.
SOS.
There will
SOS.
be a fine session.
You know, you come to one meeting a year, Dick Bailey, and you think you're here all the time. What a big smarty aleck, isn't he? I wanted to give out some appreciations, if I could, and the first person I'd like to, that's because his certificate came up first. Now, you may look at these certificates and they may not look extremely appropriate to you, but I think they're damn appropriate, so I don't want any complaints about them, okay? This one is to Bob Battenfield for constancy and highest program quality. As you know, Bob is really wonderful on our programs, and for finally... I wasn't finished yet, and for finally shaving his mustache. I thought for 3 or 4 years there you were trying to hide something, and you were. Okay, Bruce Chase. Oh, Bruce, I want to thank you very much. You've been wonderful this year. Always you work and you slave and nobody cares. And in a few more hours I won't either. But it says for continuing service in spite of his many children. And unfortunately those children yet to come. This is yours.
Always this way.
I don't know. I just read the stars, you know, throw up your bones. Yeah. I just don't think Bruce is finished yet. All right. That's enough of that. Lead Goyette. All right. Stop it. He gets one award that goes right to his head. Have you noticed that? Look at him. He's back there saying, look at this, Bill Burbank. You didn't get one. We ran out of paper, Bill, otherwise you'd get one too. Lee Goyette for being the tallest editor in the world. Yes, Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. It's too bad he's not here. I had to do this for Jason Graney. Many of you may not know him. Some of you who only come here once a year. Jason is a chiropractor who recently joined the club, and he's sizable. I guess that's the word you might use for him. And I said for bringing size and manipulation to the meeting, so. Herb Hoffman for his willingness to serve and his constant whining about fines. Come on up here, Herb. This is for you. This is for you. No, thank you very much. No, Herb adds an awful lot to the meetings because whenever he's fine, he likes to blubber for 3 or 4 minutes and complain, and we always look forward to that, as a matter of fact, Herb. George Lewis, he couldn't be here tonight. He had the best prayers and the most meaningful exchanges with God. I just loved it. And for never admitting that he wanted to, you know. Every time I asked George to do a prayer, he said, oh, no, I don't want to do it. But when I didn't ask him, he'd turn to somebody and say, why didn't Ben ask him? I don't know, we should have been married. He got it. He got it. Jim Bloxham for continuing service above and beyond the call of duty and for the longest telephone conversations in the world. I don't know if any of you have ever gotten a phone call from him. I had one that started on Monday and ended on Wednesday. I just picked up the phone every once in a while and said, you know, I said, excuse me, I got to relieve myself. And he said, I don't care, go ahead, go away. I have to give this later, she's not here, and Bob Fridgen can make it up. This is for Dim Cohen, for his willingness to serve and play a part and to become the butt of many jokes. Thank you very much, Dan.
You like you really like him.
No, we don't. Oh, for Victoria Smith for her willingness to serve and her constant search for new relationships. I don't know, when she gets lucky, it's going to be heard around the world. Okay, so... Sit down, Victoria. I see it's... by the way, if you didn't get one of these, it's simply because we ran out of paper. We wanted to give one to everyone, for instance, I wanted to give one to Tom LeDuc, but we had nothing nice to say about him, so we Michael, where are you? Michael sitting right here. Michael, wave to everybody. Michael is our membership chairman. We lost 5 members. What are you gonna say? You know? What are you gonna say? You did a great job. We cleaned house. Glass is always half full, right, Mikey? Anyway, again, it's been a... Oh, Peter, I didn't get... You've always been wonderful. Peter's just the greatest guy in the world, and he's always ready and working, and he's just wonderful. Unfortunately, he goes to Oregon every 3 months, so he's never there when you need him. Anyway, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Ben. In all kidding aside, I think every club should have a Ben Hogan. I'll tell you. There's never a dull moment when Ben is around, and it has been a truly fun year. He said, I saw that on the tape, he said, I'm going to make this year fun. He said, I don't care what else it is, but it's going to be fun. And Ben, you succeeded beyond, I think, what you anticipated. It has been a true pleasure to have your service as your president. Fortunately, with the solids coming on, it precluded us from hearing any more from Ben at the time, and for that we are grateful also. So you may now begin your dinner, and we will resume this fun festival after dinner.
Thank you.
So that people know that you're telling the truth. That's not a little thing. Ben's 20 years.
I know that feeling.
That thing
Finishing your dessert.
We haven't had it yet.
You don't need it, Andy.
You'll get that, Andy.
But I know that there are a couple of you, I know Hardy Kirkendall has to be in bed by 9 o'clock, so get this show moving. Before we continue with the arranged program, I have to make a few comments. Some of you are aware of this Pooh Bear. For the benefit of those who are not, I just want to briefly say that this animal was presented to me by our incoming president, Mr. Knudsen, and the idea was that I would have to retain it until I brought a guest to the club. The first week I brought Pooh Bear home, I, as many of you know, have a cat named Whiskers. And incidentally, I want to thank whoever wrote this article in the Chi Weekly for accuracy. Who wrote that?
Lee.
Lee, where is it? Thank you very much. It was very well done. And at least you know how to spell whiskers, which is something that this individual who passes himself off as an attorney Now, unfortunately, I didn't see this until tonight because Tom LeDuc wrote it with him. I don't get the Chi Weekly. I pay my dues, but I never received the publication. Which, you know, is another subject. Are you going to be banging dishes around now? Or sure.
If you want me to. I will.
At any rate, I hope most of you read the article because the article is accurate as far as it goes. Now, I want to tell you that this cat I've had for a number of years and is quite possessive of her domain. And unfortunately, there was a little altercation between Pooh Bear and my cat. So when I brought the animal in the next week, it had some minor problems. It had its arm in a sling and a bandage over the eye. And then the following week, I get served by an individual which I was greatly distressed to see is going to be our vice president next year, by the name of Dan Cohen. And he served me with papers, a lawsuit of sorts, and named my cat as a defendant, the cat whose name he couldn't spell. Now, you know, it's obviously slanderous and libelous to say what he did and to print what he did. And we'll deal with that issue with a competent attorney.
They have one mic.
Which, do you really? Well, they're few and far between. But as you can see, the bear is alive and well. The eye seems to be recovering nicely.
No thanks to you.
I'll ignore that comment. The eye is naturally healing. And I'm sure that the bear will recover and be with us for at least a few weeks in the incoming year. As for who gets its final custody, that remains to be seen. And we hope that the bear will be healthy and well for some time of this administration coming into office in the near future. I just wanted you to know the true facts, and any of you who ever contemplate needing an attorney, please do not go to Dan Cohen.
How did he know, dear?
As you know, we had the de-installation by our Lieutenant Governor, and our incoming Lieutenant Governor, who is Doug Burrell, had a choice to make tonight. He could either be here to install our new officers, or he could be home watching television. As you see, he's not here, and that may say something about the quality of our new administration.
Sad.
But we have a very well-known and former officer who is going to install our new directors and officers, actually someone of royal background. And it was my privilege, you may remember those of you who were here 3 years ago, to actually induct this individual as your first female president. It was my greater privilege, because she has been known ever since as Queen Victoria, to have her kneel before me at the induction. And that was one of the high points of my career as a master of ceremonies.
Neil.
But Victoria,
Good choice of words.
or Vicky as she is sometimes known, actually proved to be a delightful and very competent, a reasonably competent president. So it is with great pleasure that I give to you tonight to induct our new officers and directors, however ill-equipped they may be for the office, our former First Lady, Queen Victoria.
Did you kiss his ring?
What?
Did you kiss his ring or something?
Me? And if you recall, I did not kneel before you, I kneeled with my back to you. It's an important distinction. Important distinction. Excuse me, I haven't got all my jewels on. Jewels here. Oh, here it is. This is the small ruby. I need to wear that tonight. Okay, this is a departure from usual. Normally the Lieutenant Governor officiates at this installation event, but we're not ones to stand on ceremony here. Well, actually we are. We have a lot of ceremony. But I'd like to greet you all and thank you all for being here tonight. Greetings come from your queen and from her court. No, Dan, not that kind of court. It's the other kind of court, the Queen's court. We've gathered here in this favored room of ours in the castle, and you may not be aware of this, but I'd like to present to you the master builder who actually built this room and this castle. Sir Robert Delorier, would you stand, please? We'd like to acknowledge our master builder. Thank you, Bob. Oops, somebody's pen just dropped. Okay. It's now incumbent upon your queen to officially promote the officers and directors to their new roles for the coming year. And we will begin with the directors, whoever they are. Would Steve Blake, Herb Hoffman, Gary Kesslick, and I guess Keith isn't here tonight, is he? And Bruce Hafer and Mike Cruz, all three of them will not be here with us tonight. But if the rest of you would come forward, please. Over here, Herb. Stand with the rest of everybody, Herb.
It's nice to meet you.
You're going to get to know each other real well this year. Gentlemen, the board of directors is composed of you. You can stand a little closer to, there you go. You don't, not too close, Gary. Hold your breath. The board of directors is composed of you, the directors, and the officers of the club. Most club business is conducted by the board. So you are assuming significant responsibility for your club. You will determine club policies and activities, approve the budget and payment of bills, approve and discipline members, learn bizarre and in general manage the club. I now install you officially as directors on the board. You can sit down now, thank you. Okay, now I need to install the club secretary. Would Victoria Smith please come forward, please?
There you go.
Okay. In this case, the imperial we is accurate. Methinks it only befitting that the queen install herself as secretary. In Kiwanis, the club secretary must look after the details of the club and board meetings, reports, records, correspondence, and everything necessary for the smooth running and functioning of the club. It is up to you, Victoria, to help President Andy look good. I'll do my very best, Andy.
I need all the help I can get.
Your club's success depends in part upon your secretary's attention to detail. I now install you, Victoria, as the secretary of the club. Hello. I'm going to tell them we're hurrying. Okay. Dan Cohen, would you come forward, please?
Great call.
Dan, you've been elected to the office, excuse me. You're not in charge yet, Andy.
No, I was ordered to.
Okay. Dan, you've been elected to the office of vice president. This office is just 2 steps from the highest office of your club. And should you be called upon, you're to assume the duties of the president or the president-elect in their absence. Be vigilant, learn the needs of your club in preparation for your year as leader. A significant part of your responsibility as vice president is the health of Her Majesty's coffers. May you levy fines with a firm hand and a velvet glove. I now install you as vice president.
All right.
I think it may be appropriate at this time, Victoria, for Dan to.
Not yet. We have things planned. Hurry, Walt.
I'm just trying to help.
Walt Schaefer has been elected treasurer for this coming year. Walt, the charge of this office is not unfamiliar to you, having served in this capacity for many years. As treasurer, you have been elected to an office demanding not only absolute integrity, but also financial ability. It is your task to deposit the funds of the club, to disperse those funds upon the direction of the board of directors. You will report on the club's finances at each meeting and demonstrate good stewardship. I install you once again as the club treasurer. Andy, would you come forward, please? it's too late, sorry.
You should have been there. Just don't applaud.
Andrew, you have been elected to the highest office that can be bestowed upon you by your clubman. Except, oh, they're having a happy birthday next week. No, it's not. It's not as funny. Andy. You have been elected to the highest office that your club can bestow upon you, except for that of Queen. Which you may not except for the office of Queen, to which you may not aspire. President is an office of great honor, but also one with great responsibilities. To no small degree, the success of your club this year will depend upon the leadership that you exhibit in the conduct of the club in the board meetings and after the board meetings, and in the enthusiasm that you give to other club members. You will be making many suggestions on the total program of the club. Your fellow directors, officers, and committee chairs will also have excellent ideas. Seek out and listen to them. Do not assume the responsibilities of your fellow officers and your committee chairs. Let them perform the duties that they were chosen for. Finally, I urge you to accept as your goal the task of making your club better, more meaningful to its members, and more valuable in its service to the community. It is with great honor that I now install you to the highest office of your club, that of club president. Will everyone please rise and welcome Andy Knudsen.
Sir James of Bloxham.
Your treasure chest is returned as commanded. All 7 dragons are slain. On my return, you need a workout. On my return, I ran into King Tom. Returning from the Caldiva Crusade, and a jester that amuses you from time to time.
I never cared for that night.
That's good.
The king is starting to melt, and I have to remove it.
Okay, well done, Sir Blocks Alive. And welcome King Tom. King Tom, pay attention. Welcome King Tom. We're smart man. We are pleased to see you safely return from the horrors of the Caldiva Crusades and the evil queen. Sir Blocks-a-Lot. We note that all present here are not appropriately attired. You can't get good help anymore no matter what you do.
Oh, inappropriate.
Give us just a moment. This is an important disrobing thing.
Oh, here, let me take care of that.
I thought ladies took a long time to dress. This is ridiculous.
Are they marked?
Can you guess yet what we're doing here? He doesn't know yet.
He's
Looks like a Padres or something.
Yeah, Padre Friar.
They usually wear nothing underneath them. Just a bit of snow.
Oh, that's unknown.
Put it in your pocket. Yeah, that's rather wet.
I don't think I can reach that
Oh,
far.
no, that's why you got a long. Uh-oh.
Oh, not this.
Okay.
Got a big double, that's right.
No, throw it over here.
Okay, are you about
Coming around the mountain, I've been waiting for this for a long time.
That's great, okay. You ready? Let's go fifths. All right, here we go. Heretofore known to you as Andrew Knudsen will now forevermore be known as, Your Majesty presents to you, Friar Andy Tuck. May God have a better influence over our activities with the good friar on the throne. So I now present to you, Friar Andy.
This is not a personal conversation kind of thing. Let's get with it.
Well, I'm just trying to find out what I'm supposed to do next. Victoria's going to tell me.
You asked
Guy your age ought to know.
I guess I asked for this, didn't I?
me. You did.
If I remember the story about Friar Tuck, where we Friar Tuck was a swordsman and rigs a sword
Yeah.
someplace, and also he had a flask in his hand most of the time. And finally, Esther, I feel like we're negligent already in the duties of our court here, and that they haven't completed the rest of the outfit. What do you think we should do?
What are you asking him for?
Actually, we do.
I'm going to use the rest of the word for it.
We actually do have another piece to the
Oh,
contract.
good. Yes. Yes.
Is this appropriate or what?
Now they look like brothers.
I actually was going to give a very cheerful and serious speech tonight, but since that's
Good luck.
already gone. I would like to do a couple other things before I say farewell. Tom, will you hand me that plaque that's on the left hand, the right hand side over there, all the way across the table there? Be careful now. No, not that one, the other one.
It's already starting.
Yeah, this one here. Well, I mean, it's only fair. Well, no, it's not. We had a really sharp president in the club a couple of years ago.
It was
And
3 years.
you're probably, now the one 3 years ago was the most wonderful president we ever had, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, very good. And then following Queen Victoria, we had Sir Bloxenot, and so on, but somehow Jim never really received his due recognition. And tonight I would be very proud to present to the telemarketer of the club and someone who has really put a lot of work into keeping things working for our club. I'd like to present to Jim his President's plaque from 2 years ago. I think the secretary should have ordered that when he was secretary, right? Yes, Andy. I had made a number of notes for this next presentation, but unfortunately they're in my pocket. I can't get out of them. So,
Would you like me to reach down there?
would you like to reach into my...
No, would like to.
A few years ago, I had the privilege of I met Ben Holden, and I really thought it was a privilege at the time. And Ben kind of took me under his wing, and I learned very quickly that you're never going to be able to follow Ben anywhere in doing anything as well as Ben does things. But Ben befriended me early in the club. When I changed companies, he helped me find a new office and kind of gave me a kick in the pants and got me going again. Ben has done things in our club. I remember, how many times has he moved you? You know, twice. And I remember the first time that Ben helped, and I was there, Ben almost had a heart attack moving some of the light things that were in the house. But Ben's the kind of person that will give you his heart and soul for taking care of folks that he works with and all of those of us that he appreciates very much. And you know, Ben had, when I first met Ben, he was running, Ben's already asleep, but he ran his first golf tournament when I joined the club, and I was amazed by how much energy this guy had and how much he got done so quick in a very pragmatic way, I guess. And he went on and did that very successfully, and of course no one has ever entertained our club better than Ben has, or put us to sleep faster. But Ben has a good way of keeping people alert and well entertained and making things fun. I am going to very much rely on Ben as past president and put him to work. At least next year I'll probably work a little bit more than last year. But Ben, from my heart, I really am honored to give you this plaque as past president, or as president of our Kiwanis Club. And please give, I hope all you would stand and give Ben a warm welcome. Oh, sure.
They make me put on a stupid outfit like this, then they give me the plaque.
Love your shoes.
Thank you. I picked up two guys in the hallway.
Take your coat off, we'll all know the difference. Dan, did you want to say a few words as Vice President? Sure. I ought to introduce Dan Cohen, Vice President.
My session's over.
Time's
Would Troy like to say a few words?
I need your advice.
First of all, I just want to respond to some of the comments that were made earlier. As I endured the jibes and the protests of what was obviously a desperate man in a desperate situation, I just sat back with a smile, knowing that it was he who 1 week ago requested a 2-week continuance, so he could have his matter heard before me, the fine master. It's been suggested to me that I might have a little fine session tonight.
Obviously.
Yes. Let's forgo it, right?
Yay!
Yeah, right.
He's give it to somebody who can walk.
I noticed when we started out the meeting, Gordon got up here, we were all sitting down, and he started the meeting, we were all sitting down. Now that wasn't our fault, was it?
No.
We missed the familiar sound of that ringing of that bell that called us to action, let us know to get up, start the meeting.
Where's the bell?
Where's the bell?
I don't
The
know.
cry goes out.
The cry goes out.
Where is the bell?
Who was the keeper of the bell, Ben?
I have no idea. Oh, it's locked up in the watches.
$2 from Mr. Holden.
See my wife. Honey, it's in trade. Don't worry about it. It's in.
Oh, thanks.
Talking about wives, I'd like to introduce my wife, Joanne.
Hi, Joanne. You're trying to tell us Joanne's a bell?
And for the rest of you, if you didn't bring a spouse or a guest, that'll be $1.
I paid 25 for
Now, Bruce Chase back there. Bruce Chase expressed a very fine compliment. expressed,
Right over here.
excuse me?
And I
Bruce
do-
Chase expressed some nice confidence in my ability as a fine man. So very nice words. Bruce, that'll be $1 for sucking up. Lawyers enjoy that kind of thing. Now, the great thing about a vice president is I already got a pin here. I got a nice pin with the vice president. Now, when I was talking to Mike Emerson, I told him I wasn't going to fine him for his tie.
Oh, man, I couldn't.
You notice he always wears his Kiwanis ties. He's not wearing it tonight. I talked to him. He gave me a history about that tie. I'm not going to fine him for that tie. But I am going to fine him for his pin. He comes to a Kiwanis meeting with an Optimus pin. $5.
I'm gonna pay 20. It's worth it.
And for the rest of us who aren't wearing a pin, who are setting a bad example for Mike, that'll be $1 as well, because we need to teach him how to do this right. And on that, I think I'll call it a night. I've got a babysitter tonight, so I want to get this over with and get done. So
Ed, turn up his hearing aid.
to the rear!
Who woke him up? What? Hey, Ed,
Hey, you better go to Miracle here or something.
Yes, thank you very much.
Good, Ed.
I'll give that to Walt, please. As we used to say when I was in the Navy, we're burning daylight. And so I'm going to make this very short. I just want to thank everybody for coming tonight, and I want to thank all of you here for the support that you gave Ben for the last year. He's done a terrific job, and I hope and pray that you'll help me as much as you helped Ben, Victoria, and everybody else, and so on. I want to thank Victoria and Gordon and Jim for coordinating this tonight. They've done a great job. It's a pleasure to see all the spouses here tonight, and our girlfriends, husbands, boyfriends, yes.
And others.
So thank you all for coming, and for folks in the club, you're going to hear enough from me over the next year, so I'm going to cut it short. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Andy. That was far superior to the long diatribe I watched on this tape of last year's performance by the outgoing president. I have strained very hard to avoid any jokes about large people tonight, but I think you've seen evidence that there are several of our dignitaries who obviously enjoy food. And I want to tell you that I have gained a great appreciation for those people this past year. I really like to encourage more of you to emulate Mr. Bill DeVille and our new president and our past president, who give ample evidence that they enjoy eating. And I want to thank particularly Andy, because he is the best customer I have at the restaurant. He's in there every day, and he loves our
Yeah, you better know what I eat.
yeah, those awful cinnamon rolls. Thank you, Victoria. So I really want to thank you and encourage all of you to become regular eaters. And dine out frequently. We need money.
With your coupons.
It's always a pleasure to have Tom Vildeville with us, and Tom has provided not only a great example of what Kiwanis is all about over the years, he continues to be very active. As you know, he ran for governor-elect this year. We had all hoped very much that he would win, and through politics that didn't occur. But I think Tom has given ample evidence of his genuine regard for Kiwanis. And it's our pleasure now to have him make a presentation of the Perfect Attendance Awards and a Legion of Honor presentation. Please welcome past Lieutenant Governor Tom Vildeville.
There is a story that's told many times that says a person only fails when they quit trying. So although there are 3 days left in this month, and it's not a policy that you're supposed to do this, I will cheerfully share with you, even before I've had an opportunity to share with my own club, that very proudly Shirley Vildeville, my beautiful wife, and I will be seeking the office of governor once again.
Hey, hey!
And this time we're not going to be so nice, no, it won't. It's a great honor when you run for an office, and when you walk away, you take your team with you, know that you've done everything exactly the way it should be, and I certainly couldn't have done it without a gentleman in here before I start this that I want to acknowledge. There's been many things said about him up there this evening. I've grown to love him like a brother. He's one of the warmest, kindest men I've ever met, and if you don't really, a lot of people don't really get a chance to know him and see him the way he really is. And I'd just like you once again to give a good round of applause to a gentleman that busted his fanny for me last year, and I consider, more importantly than any job I could ever earn in this district, his friendship, Mr. Ben Holden. Ben, all right? Although Ben also, I want to tell you, reminds me quickly of a story that I heard, and it was a story about a teacher in the classroom, and she asked the children in the class, she said, now, it's Friday afternoon, I'm going to allow you to go home early if you can answer these questions. And she asked the first question, it's Friday afternoon, you get off the rest of the afternoon until Monday. So the first question was, who said, give me liberty or give me death? And a little girl young lady raised her hand, and she said, I got a teacher, I got it. He said, well, what is it? It was Patrick Henry. She said, it's very good, you got the afternoon off. And the boys put their hands down. So she says, I'm going to give you another chance, so keep your eye. So, like Ben in the back of the room, he couldn't get his hand up quite in time. And here comes the next question. Who said, ask not what you can do for your country, but ask what you can do for your little kid? Another little girl raised her hand right away. Little Ben didn't get his hand up. And teacher said, yes, Nancy. And she said, well, that was John F. Kennedy. So that's very good. That's outstanding. Take the rest of the afternoon off. Ben said, I wish the girls would keep their mouth shut. Teacher said, who said that? Ben said, Bill Clinton. I'll see you Monday. My fellow Kiwanians, it's one of the objects of Kiwanis is to give. And promote, encourage, and cooperate and all the other, but to give. And when I think of the Legion of Honor, I think of giving. Because that's really what each one of us do. And to be a recipient of the Legion of Honor means that you have given 25 years service or more to Kiwanis. And I think that's absolutely unbelievable to see people that have that kind of dedication to Kiwanis. And it's with great pride this evening. Under the Legion of Honor, it says this award should be given out by the highest ranking Kiwanian in the room. And somehow I don't feel like I'm that person. But I can tell you I'm very proud that you asked me to do it, because I can tell you that if you cut me and I bleed blue. So these people are my heroes, and they should be this club's heroes. And maybe not tonight, but tomorrow make a commitment to me. You'll call each one of these people in your own way and tell them, hey, thanks for making this community, this city, and this world a greater place because they served. So each one of these people that we're talking about tonight, the first one I'd like to mention and have him come up front real quick if he could. With 25 years service this year, a good friend of mine also, Mr. Jim Romine. Jim? Now, if I pin it on, I have to kiss you, so I think you are. I knew you were going to be a little... Another man that's certainly been dedicated not only to his community, but to wherever he's been. Jim, nice to see you in the Legion of Honor Hall of Fame. The next person that's put in 30 years, and welcome this gentleman up front, Mr. Bill Berry. Bill?
That's a good batik shirt. Don't run it with a pen. Oh, well, go ahead. Okay.
That's a Walmart special.
They're Marine style.
Gentleman that is a stranger to nobody, a past president of this club, a man that I know personally has dedicated a tremendous amount of time and is a true Kiwani with 30 years of experience also, 30 years of dedication to Kiwanis. Please welcome up front Mr. Gordon Austin, past president.
I'm going to pin a pin on you. You better hold still.
It's a $2 fine if you kiss the queen, by the way.
Don't make it harder.
Family group.
35 years, we're getting up here now, I want you to think about that. 35 years service. I've been in Kiwanis very proudly for 24, going on 25 years. But this gentleman has put in 35 years. Please welcome up front Mr. Bill Verbeck. Bill. Met this gentleman some time ago, and he truly is a gentleman, and he's very quiet, but he's powerful and a hard worker. Real nice. Bill, appreciate your hard work and dedication.
Come over here, sir.
Now there's a guy that knows what he wants. He went for the kiss before he got the pin.
Great color.
With also 35 years, please welcome up front Mr. Bob Delorier. Bob? Bob, I want you to know that my name's hard to pronounce, sir. I had to practice a long time. It's a pleasure to be able to pronounce that. I've got a book at work that has 85 different ways my name has been pronounced by people, and I keep them in ratings, which is best. So I know what that's like. And with 40 years, wow, 40 years service. Unbelievable. Welcome up front, Mr. Lynn Ichi. That's unbelievable, sir. Ben Holden's only 40 years old. That's
what he keeps telling you.
Thank you very much for all your hard work. And also, one of your past presidents, and everybody knows who this guy is, please welcome up front with also 40 years of service to Kiwanis and an awful lot in this club, Mr. Hardy Kirkendall.
Hardy!
Out of Africa. Thank you very much.
Looking good, Hardy.
Yeah, better here than Africa.
Okay? This this gentleman should be recognized even though he's not here. Cliff Assay also is with 40 years, and that's unbelievable. And be sure you do give him a note and call him because that's so important. 40 years is unbelievable. This gentleman here Next gentleman I talk about is another gentleman that I've grown to love and respect, and a guy that I look to. And if I ever went out in this world, and bless my father's been gone for 27 years, but if I ever went out and said, that's the kind of dad I'd like to have, this would be the guy I would pick, one of the guys that I would pick. This guy's unbelievable Kiwanian, unbelievable human being, and I can truly say the world is a better place because this man existed. Please welcome up front my friend and yours, Mr. Herb Hoffman.
A good suit. How many years was that, Bill?
No ticket.
Bill, how many years?
45 years.
45 years of service. 45. The gentleman that has the very most service in your club won't be a stranger to anybody. And I'm sure you already know who he is, but it has the most service. And you know, again, I want you to think of this. 47 years this gentleman has dedicated himself to Kiwanis and its beliefs. And I can assure you that he has probably single-handedly helped change the lives of more people than you could ever begin to imagine. Please welcome up front, 47 years into your Legion of Honor, please welcome up your past president, Ed Waters. Ed! Do it! Too many people in this district that Ed doesn't know, and too many people that don't know Ed, so it's very good that you have him. You know, another thing that you need to know that I think is important is a club cannot function if people aren't here. And I really emphasize that. It's one of my beliefs, and if I ever become blessed enough to become governor of this district, it'll be one of the things I hammer home the very most is that, you know, Kiwanis isn't for every person. And if you aren't dedicated to coming and participating, and there's nothing you can give Friar Tuck over here better this year than to be here when he needs you. And so that brings up the next awards we're giving out, and those are perfect attendance. And when you think perfect attendance, I mean, that's really hard to get perfect attendance. And in my club, and I'm sure I should know that exactly, I think I only have 13 or 14 years of perfect attendance, and being in 24 years, that isn't really good, but it took getting slapped around by a few presidents and people that helped me get there. But these people are people, by the way, that were not recognized in the past. And one of the things that Andy's done and Victoria's doing that I think is wonderful for the club and Jim is they're bringing this back to front again. And so they're recognizing a lot of the people in the past that didn't get recognized at the time they should have. And those people, I would like them to come up front and receive for their years. Richard Bailey, 3 years. Richard.
Count the last one.
Thank you very much. You got it. And also in the past, perfect attendance. Hardy Kirkendall, 8 years. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Perfect attendance, very good. Also with 8 years, Peter Cuthbert. Peter.
Somebody let Pete through.
Congratulations, sir. Also with 8 years, Bob Battenfield. Another Kiwanian that is very quiet and does a tremendous amount of work. Great pleasure, sir. Congratulations. And with 10 years, perfect attendance, Lee Goyette. Lee? One of the guys I always get a kick out of when I come to the Mesa Club and I walk in, I always catch this guy. He's always got a smile on his face. hard worker, great Kiwanian. Please welcome up 14 years perfect attendance, Walt Schaefer.
Give him a little applause.
Fina, is that
And with 15 years, Len Engie.